You cannot let a fear of failure, or a fear of comparison, or a fear of judgment stop you from doing what's going to make you great. You cannot succeed without this risk of failure. You cannot have a voice without the risk of criticism. And you cannot love without the risk of loss. You must go out and you must take these risks. Everything I'm truly proud of in this life has been a terrifying prospect to me. From my first play, to hosting Saturday Night Live, to getting married, to being a father, to speaking to you today. None of it comes easy. And people will tell you to do what makes you happy. But a lot of this has been hard work. And I'm not always happy. And I don't think you should do just what makes you happy.
So I crashed my drone today. So this weekend I went to go check out the Bonneville Salt Flats. The Bonneville Salt Flats are basically this big landmass of salt. And how it formed is at one point there used to be a giant lake there. Over time the lake just evaporated and it left all of the salt behind. And I wanted to go check it out because being a filmmaker, it's actually a pretty famous location. A lot of movies and productions are filmed here because of how extreme of a location it is. The miles of just pure white salt make this. It makes this crazy whiteout effect. Pirates of the Caribbean movie, when Jack Sparrow gets banished, he gets sent to this crazy whiteout void and there's little weird rock crabs and it's just a weird scene. That scene was actually filmed at the Bonneville Salt Flats. Even like YouTubers film their projects here. Back in the day, Casey Neistat actually filmed one of his commercials at the Bonneville Salt Flats. You know, it's a pretty famous location, so I thought I would go check it out. And this last weekend it actually rained quite a bit, and when it rains, a little thin layer of water piles up on top of the salt. And I'm talking like ankle deep. It's not a lot of water. It's this thin layer, but it creates this reflecting pool. Between the whiteout salt and the reflecting pools, just the mountains and the surrounding area, it's a pretty cool place. I see why so many productions are filmed here just because of how beautiful it looks on camera. I was trying to make a video out there, and as you saw, I crashed my drone. It's so funny, like I literally crashed my drone in one of the flattest places that I could have been flying it. See, when a drone flies, it kind of does this motion in the air. It kind of moves around a little bit. The gimbal keeps the camera steady, but the drone itself is constantly rocking around. What I was trying to do was get this really low to the ground sequence. I thought it made this pretty cool effect. What I didn't account for is how much the drone moves around. Being that low to the ground, it dipped, and yeah. This isn't the drone that I currently use anymore. I use this guy now. I use the Mavic Pro. And honestly, I'm glad I don't use this guy anymore because this is pure white. It was almost impossible to find this. Being out there, the whiteout effect of the salt, of the sun hitting it and reflecting, unless something is right in front of you, you can't see it. Even though I knew exactly where the drone crashed, I could see the footage still streaming through the controller. It took me over an hour of wandering trying to find it. That was probably the scariest part. Not the fact that I crashed the drone, but the fact that I couldn't find it after I crashed it. Eventually I did find it. This rudder right here, these probes are completely destroyed on these ones. The rest look alright. From what I can see, the damage doesn't look too bad. So getting back here and being able to get a better look at the drone, it was a little bit more beat up than I initially thought. The probe on the front left was completely destroyed. Both prongs just shattered. And the right front probe was missing the tip. Those are easy replaceable. You can just switch out the propellers. What I was concerned about was that the front leg was actually snapped. Front right leg was snapped. It was almost snapped all the way off. Luckily it wasn't, but without that, the drone can't land properly. So what I did was I took some super glue and I glued the leg back together. I haven't tested it out yet, but I think Cher Ami, my drone here, is good to go. I named my drone Cher Ami after the famous pigeon. I actually made an entire video about pigeons. So if you want to know more about Cher Ami, you should go check that out. Cher Ami, now that I think about it, Cher Ami lost a leg too. The actual pigeon, she lost one of her legs. That's part of the story. You should go check that out. I'm so salty. Just look at all that salt just covered in it. Okay, so the drone is now fixed. It's in my backpack right now, where it normally is. I wanted to come out to some interesting place to fly it, to test it out to see if it works, which I think it works. We just have to test it to make sure. So I've come out here. I've come up the mountains just a little bit. I found a hiking trail and we're just kind of hiking around and spend the rest of the day hiking and at some point test the drone. And check this out. You see this? You see this right here? We got a little bit of snow. Christmas is coming. Okay, so we're out here hiking and something crazy just happened. I was out here walking and I just encountered a wild coyote, which I think is pretty cool. I did my best to film it. I tried to film it with my cell phone, my camera. I don't have the right lens, but recently I have been encountering quite a few wild animals. And like, I want to film them. Maybe I should get a better lens to where I can zoom in really far and capture these wild creatures. Because there's like this bit of adrenaline when you're filming a wild animal, because 90% of the time they know you're there and they're on edge because they're ready to run because you're there. And you're trying to get as close as you can to get the shot. It's just an adrenaline rush. I actually think it's kind of funny because my dad actually used to go camping a lot. He still does, but he used to take our old VHS home VHS recorder. He would take that up into the mountains with him and essentially vlog himself. My dad was an OG vlogger, and he would film animals and he would just film everything. All growing up, he filmed and documented our entire lives. Where I get this desire to make videos all the time. I probably get a little bit of that from him. Okay, so check this out. I'm definitely gonna go down there. This area right here, it's pretty open. Let's see if our drone works. All right, guys, moment of truth. Everything started up fine. Everything appears to be fine. Fingers crossed. Here we go. I think we're good to go. Alright, it's up there right now. Everything is in fine working order. We didn't break a drone, but we broke it, but we fixed it. We fixed it. That's all that matters. Kyler to control. We're coming in for a landing. And touchdown. At this point, there's only one concern I have. I don't remember these red lights always being on. And red normally means bad. I don't know, editing Kyler, look it up. Is red bad? Is this okay? Yeah, it turns out that it's totally normal. If they were flashing red, then you would have a problem. Solid red is just the default, so you're good. Okay, that's good. Okay, good. Back to the hike. Actually, you know what? On second thought, it's actually really cold out here. I had to break out the gloves. But we tested the drone. Everything works. All is well.